The desert was silent, except for the wind. It swept through the broken metal of a crashed alien city, dead buildings, fallen towers, and burnt machines. Ash floated in the air like snow, covering everything in gray. Aaron walked alone. He was a human scavenger, dressed in a dusty brown coat, boots worn thin, and a metal scanner strapped to his wrist. He searched the ruins for tech, tools, and parts he could sell. He had walked this desert for years. He had seen many wrecked worlds, but this place felt different. Too quiet, too empty. Then he heard it, a soft sound, like a cough or maybe a breath. Aaron froze. He raised his scanner, swept it around. The display blinked once, then again. Faint life signal, weak, very close. He moved slowly toward the signal. Around him, giant pieces of alien metal jutted out of the sand like bones. Then he saw it, under a fallen metal beam, barely visible in the ash. Something moved. A hand, small, thin, covered in dirt and blood. Aaron rushed forward and knelt. He pulled aside pieces of wreckage. And there she was, an alien girl, young, maybe 17. Her skin was pale blue, bruised and burned. She wore no clothes, only torn strips of cloth that barely hid her. Her body was thin, starved. Her dark hair was tangled and full of dust, but her eyes were open, wide, empty, like all the light inside her was gone. She didn't scream, she didn't cry. She just stared at him. Aaron pulled off his coat and wrapped it around her. "It's okay," he said, voice calm. "You're safe now." She didn't move. Her body was shaking, but not from cold. From fear. Aaron noticed her wrists' thin scars, tight and even, like shackles had once been there. He looked around. No other bodies. No escape pods. Nothing. She had been left behind. He picked her up gently. She was too light. Like someone who hadn't eaten in weeks. She didn't resist. She didn't speak. She just pressed her face against his chest and closed her eyes. Aaron took her back to his crawler, a small transport vehicle hidden under sand netting. He laid her down inside, gave her water, offered her food. She watched him eat first. Only then did she take a bite, small, careful, like a scared animal. He gave her a thermal blanket. She pulled it tight around her, curling up on the floor, not the bed. Aaron sat nearby, watching her. He wanted to ask questions, but something told him to wait. That night, she didn't sleep. She sat in the corner, back against the wall, eyes wide open. Every time he moved, she flinched. She had been through something terrible. Something no one should go through. The next day, Aaron tried again. "What's your name?" he asked softly. The girl didn't answer. "Do you remember anything?" Still silence. Then after a long pause, her lips moved. "Stay?" she whispered. Aaron looked at her. Her voice was small, weak, almost broken. "I'm not going anywhere," he said. She stared at him. For the first time, her eyes showed something, confusion. Like she didn't understand what those words meant. Aaron stood and stepped outside, needing fresh air. The wind was rising, and the sky was turning red. A storm was coming. He turned back to look through the crawler window. She hadn't moved, just sitting there, wrapped in the blanket, eyes locked on him as if she was scared he'd disappear. Aaron clenched his fists. This wasn't just some random survivor. This girl had been abandoned, forgotten, maybe even owned, and now she was his responsibility. He walked back inside and sat near her. "Listen," he said gently. "I don't know what happened to you, but you're safe here. I'm not going to hurt you." She didn't speak, but her fingers gripped the blanket tighter. Aaron didn't push. He just sat there. Minutes passed. Then, finally, her voice again. "Stay with me?" Aaron nodded. "Always." A tear ran down her cheek. She didn't wipe it away. That night, she crawled onto the bed while he pretended to sleep. She didn't touch him. She just curled into the far corner of the mattress, like a child afraid of monsters. And as Aaron lay still, he whispered words she'd never heard before. "You're not a thing. You're not alone. Not anymore." The night passed slowly. Aaron didn't sleep. Not really. He lay on the cold floor of the crawler, listening to her soft breathing from the bed behind him. Once, he thought he heard her cry, but the sound was so faint, it might have been the wind. By morning, the storm had passed, but the sky still hung heavy and gray. He made warm soup, simple, made from powdered stock and clean water. He poured some into a metal cup and set it on the small table. The girl sat on the edge of the bed, wrapped in the same coat he gave her. Her bare feet touched the cold floor, toes curled. She stared at the cup, unmoving. "You can have it," Aaron said gently. "It's yours." She didn't move. He took a small spoonful, tasted it in front of her. "Not poisoned," he said with a smile. She blinked once. Then slowly, carefully, she crawled to the table. Her hands shook as she picked up the cup. She sipped, flinched at the heat, but didn't stop. Aaron watched her. Not with pity, but with quiet wonder. She didn't act like a normal person. Everything she did was cautious, like someone who had been punished for the smallest mistake. After a while, he spoke again. "Can you tell me your name?" She looked up at him, blank stare. "Do you have one?" he asked. Her lips parted. She tried to speak. Then she shook her head. I done single quotes did no." Aaron nodded slowly. "It's okay. We can figure it out later." She touched her chest lightly. "They used to call me number." "Number?" She looked down. 1701. Aaron's. Heart sank. Not a name. A code. He leaned back. "Well, that's not going to work," he said. "You're not a number. You're a person." She stared at him again, confused. "You get to choose who you are now," he said softly. She didn't answer. Instead, she looked at her own reflection in the shiny side of a metal container. She touched her face like she didn't recognize it. Aaron sighed and changed the subject. "You're safe here, but we need to keep moving soon. This area isn't stable. Too much scavenger traffic." The girl tensed. "Are they coming?" "Who?" She didn't answer. Just hugged herself tighter. Aaron stood and walked to a small storage box in the back of the crawler. He pulled out some old clothes, simple pants, and a soft long-sleeve shirt. "These are clean. You should change. I'll wait outside." He stepped out into the wind. Minutes passed. Too many. Then he heard it, a sharp gasp. Not pain. Panic. He rushed back in. She stood in the corner, wearing the shirt, but her hands were shaking. She had tried to scrub herself clean with sand and water. Her arms were red. Her skin scratched raw. Aaron stopped. Hey, what are you doing?" She looked up, terrified. I had to be clean. They check. Always check." Aaron moved slowly toward her. "No one's checking anything, not here." She blinked fast, like she was trying to wake up from a nightmare. "I didn't want punishment," she whispered. "If I'm dirty, they take me away. Lock me in the dark room. No light, no sound. Aaron's jaw clenched. He forced himself to stay calm. "You don't have to be afraid anymore, I promise." She collapsed to the floor, holding her knees. "What if they come back? What if they find me?" Aaron knelt beside her. "Then I'll protect you. Why?" she asked, voice barely a whisper. He didn't answer right away. He looked at her, really looked at her. Not just as a victim or a survivor, but as someone slowly waking up from a living nightmare. "Because someone should have," he said. "Finally, because no one else did." She stared at him. Then, without warning, she leaned forward and hugged him. It wasn't soft. It wasn't romantic. It was desperate. Like a child gripping the last piece of safety they had left in the world. Aaron didn't move. He let her hold on. After a while, her breathing slowed. Her muscles relaxed. She pulled away slowly, eyes tired but calmer. "Do I have to go back?" she asked. "No," he said. "Never." She looked around the small crawler. It wasn't a palace. It wasn't even a real home. But for the first time, maybe it felt like something close to one. Aaron stood and walked to the control panel. "We'll head out tonight. You need rest." She nodded, then paused. "Can I choose a name?" Aaron turned and smiled. "Of course." She looked at him, eyes full of something new. Something fragile but growing. Then, "Maybe tomorrow," she said softly. "Tomorrow, I'll try." And for the first time since he found her, Aaron believed she might just have a future. The crawler rolled across the cracked plains, its wheels kicking up dust as the sun set behind the rust-colored hills. Inside, Aaron drove in silence. The girl, still without a name, sat in the passenger seat, staring out the window. She had changed, just a little. She no longer flinched when Aaron reached for something near her. She drank water without waiting to be told. And once, during the morning light, she smiled, small and unsure, but real. Aaron didn't say anything about it. He just smiled back. But even with that progress, something haunted her. She still slept curled in a corner. She still checked the doors 3 times before resting. And she still didn't look in mirrors. That Aaron knew healing would take time. They stopped near a deep wreck, an old alien cargo hauler that had crashed years ago. Its spine broken, its cargo sealed in rusted containers. Perfect for scavenging. Aaron handed the girl a flashlight. "Stay close. There's no life signal, but these places can be unstable." She nodded and followed him into the darkness of the broken ship. Inside, it was cold and quiet. The smell of burnt wiring still lingered in the air. Aaron scanned the walls, opening panels and checking for salvageable tech. Then the girl stopped. She stood in front of a black crate, half crushed under metal beams. Something inside glowed faintly. Aaron came over and forced the lid open. Inside, wrapped in black silk and strange foam, was a small metallic band. A collar, not just any collar, this one was custom made. Silver-white metal with blue lights pulsing faintly on the edges. Elegant, expensive, but beneath the surface was something darker. Aaron picked it up. There were letters etched into the inner rim, alien script. The girl stepped back. Her hands trembled. Aaron noticed. "Do you recognize this?" She didn't speak, but she nodded. Slowly, Aaron pulled out his old translator device, scanned the writing. It blinked. Then the words appeared on the small screen. "Property of House Valen. Class 3 asset. Biocode Losik." He stared at the words. House Valen. A name that sent chills down his spine. They were one of the old royal families before the wars. Rich, cruel, and secretive. Long gone, now destroyed during a rebellion. Rumors said they were involved in illegal experiments, cloning, and worse. And this girl had worn their mark. Aaron looked at her. She was frozen, staring at the collar like it could leap at her. "I don't want to wear it," she whispered. "Don't make me wear it again." "I won't," Aaron said firmly. "Never again." She looked at him, shaking. "They told me I was lucky, that I was chosen, but I didn't feel lucky. I felt like glass. Like something they could break anytime." Aaron placed the collar back in the crate. "It's over. You're free now." But she didn't relax. "They said, if I ever left, I'd vanish, that no one would remember me." Aaron crouched beside her. "You're not invisible. I see you. You're real. And I'll remember you every day." She sat down beside the crate, breathing slowly. "I remember now," she said, her voice distant. "The rooms were white. Always white. The collars came first. Then the names were erased." "Erased?" "They said names made us harder to control." Aaron clenched his fists. "How many were there?" "Too many," she said softly. "Some didn't make it. Some just did. Stop speaking." Aaron scanned the rest of the cargo. More collars, more crates, all marked with different ID numbers. One had blood stains inside. He backed away. They use this place as transport, he said. To move people. She nodded. I was cargo. No. Aaron snapped. You were never cargo. They lied to you. The girl stared at him for a long time. Then she stood and kicked the crate hard. The collar inside rolled out and clattered on the floor. She crushed it under her heel. It sparked once, then died. Aaron smiled. That's better. The girl didn't smile back, but her eyes, they were different now. No longer hollow. No longer dead. She was remembering. And she was angry. Let's leave this place, she said. I don't want to stay here. Aaron nodded. But just before they left, he picked up one of the collars and slid it into his pack. Not for keeping, for evidence, for truth. Back in the crawler, as they drove through the night, the girl leaned back in the seat and whispered, My name is not 1701. Aaron looked at her. She met his eyes. I don't know what my name is yet. But I will. And for the first time, Aaron believed she would find it. The desert night was quiet, but Aaron didn't trust silence anymore. They had driven far too far from the wrecked cargo hauler, filled with metal collars and forgotten pain. Now the crawler was parked in a hidden crevice between jagged red rocks, safe for now. Inside the crawler, a soft blue lamp glowed above them. The girl, still unnamed, lay on a thin bed, eyes open, staring at the ceiling. She hadn't spoken much since the collar, but her body said everything, tense, guarded, waiting. Aaron sat across from her with a small black device in his hand, a scanner. Old military tech, salvaged long ago. It could read implants, wounds, and deep bone fractures. Are you sure? He asked softly. The girl nodded. I feel something in my back. I always have. Aaron crouched beside her. This might sting. She turned over, pulling her shirt up to reveal the center of her spine. Her skin was pale blue, marked with faded scars, one of which ran along the middle of her back, neat and surgical. Aaron ran the scanner gently over it. The screen lit up. Foreign object detected. Active signal. Bio-linked tracker. Aaron's stomach dropped. They put a live tracker inside you, he said quietly. The girl's breath caught. She didn't move. Didn't cry. I knew it, she whispered. That's how they always found me when I tried to run. I thought it was just luck. Aaron zoomed in on the screen. The implant was deep, wired into her nervous system. It pulsed softly. Still alive. Still sending a signal. Why is it still active? She asked. Because it's not just a tracker, Aaron said. It's a leash. She turned her face away. So I was never really free. No, Aaron said firmly. You are free. But we have to remove this. Now. Can you do it? I've taken out worse, he said. But it'll hurt. She didn't hesitate. Do it. Aaron set up the tools. A sterilized blade, a shock dampener, a clot sponge, and a nanoseal. Patch, he handed her a cloth. Bite down on this, just in case. She did. Then he began. The moment the blade touched her skin, her body tensed. Not from pain, but from memories. Aaron worked quickly, his hands steady. The tracker was embedded deep, wrapped in a strange black coil. Fused to a nerve bundle, he cut slowly. Carefully, a faint beep from the scanner. Warning, signal disrupt detected. Potential alert sent. It might have felt that, he said. Girl's eyes widened, but she didn't move. Then, with one last careful twist, Aaron pulled the tracker out. It was the size of a small marble. Covered in blood and blinking with faint red light. He dropped it into a metal box and slammed it shut. It's out, he said. You're clean. She exhaled, shaking, sweating, but alive. Aaron sealed the wound with a nanopatch. It hissed. Softly, bonding her skin, the girl pulled her shirt down, slowly sitting up. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then she reached for the box. May I see it? Aaron opened it. She stared at the tracker, red light blinking like a dying heartbeat. That thing lived inside me, she said. It knew where I was, what I did, what I thought. Aaron nodded. They used it to own you. She looked up, eyes hard. Then let's destroy it. He handed her a small pulse hammer. She took it, placed the tracker on the floor, and raised the hammer high. One hit. The red light blinked rapidly, then stopped. Dead. Gone. She dropped the hammer. Breathing hard, Aaron smiled. Nice swing, she smirked, just a little, thanks. But before they could relax, the crawler's comlink lit up. A strange signal, sharp. Encrypted, alien. Aaron checked the scanner. 2 incoming vessels approaching fast. No ID codes. Estimated contact, 9 minutes, he cursed under his breath. They felt the signal break. Someone's coming. The girl stood up fast. They always come. Not this time, Aaron said, grabbing his rifle and a small EMP mine. We're not running anymore. We're fighting back. But I don't want you hurt because of me, she said. He looked at her. I'm not doing this just for you, he said. I'm doing this because someone out there still thinks you belong to them. And I want them to know they're wrong. She stared at him, eyes wide. You're not a number. You're not a product. You're not a thing. He stepped outside. She followed. The night wind howled through the rocks. In the dark sky above, 2 lights appeared, growing larger. The hunters were coming. But this time, she wasn't hiding. She stood beside Aaron, broken collar in one hand, pulse hammer in the other. And for the first time in her life, she wanted to be seen. The desert fog rolled in just before dawn, thick white and unnatural. Aaron crouched behind the crawler, weapon ready, eyes scanning the pale mist. He had seen many desert storms, but this fog felt wrong. It clung to the rocks like fingers. It moved without wind. The girl stood beside him, silent. Her face was calm, but her hands trembled around the grip of the old pulse hammer. They're using atmosphere drones, Aaron muttered, cloaking their movement. She didn't ask how. He knew. She already understood. They were trained hunters. Professionals. And they were coming for her. Do they always come this fast? Aaron asked. She nodded. If the tracker goes dark, they arrive in hours. They think escape means contamination. Contamination? He repeated. They think I'm broken, she said quietly. Aaron didn't reply. He just adjusted the MP mine and placed it near the main rock path. The girl helped, handing him wires, sealing small charges under the sand. You've done this before, he said, surprised. She gave a soft smile. I used to watch, from inside cages. They made us observe training simulations, to learn fear. Aaron paused. And what did you learn? That fear can be unlearned. He nodded. Good. Then silence. No ship noise. No engine sound. Just a faint hum in the fog. The girl stiffened. They're here. Aaron's scanner blinked red. 2 life forms, closing in. No names. No faces. Just predators. The first hunter appeared like a shadow, tall, armored, faceless. His boots made no sound. A long staff weapon pulsed with blue light in his hand. Aaron stayed hidden, breathing slow. The second one circled wide, searching for heat trails. She was smaller, faster, helmet shaped like a bird of prey. Her armor clicked softly, scanning. Aaron triggered the EMP mine. A pulse of blue light exploded outward. Frying sensors, jamming comes. The first hunter staggered. The second shouted something in a strange language. Aaron moved. He fired once, then twice. The first shot hit armor. The second grazed a shoulder. The hunters turned. Fast, but the girl was already behind them. She struck the smaller one with the pulse hammer direct to the helmet. It sparked. Cracked. The hunter dropped. The other spun. Staff raised ready to strike. But then he stopped. Not because of Aaron's gun, because he recognized her. You, he said in a low, filtered voice. It's you, the girl stepped forward. You remember me? The hunter's voice cracked. You were supposed to be gone, erased. Aaron raised his weapon. Who is she? The hunter backed up slowly. You don't understand, human. She's not a girl. She's a ghost. A prototype. A mistake they buried with fire. Aaron frowned. What are you talking about? She was built to replace someone, the hunter hissed. A royal, a daughter. But something went wrong. She remembered things she wasn't meant to. So they tried to wipe her mind. Again and again. He looked at the girl with something like fear, but she always came back. The girl was shaking. Is it true? Aaron asked softly. She looked at him, tears forming. I don't know anymore, she whispered. Sometimes I dream. But they're not my dreams. A palace. A throne. A mother who looked at me like I was someone else. Not me. Someone missing. Aaron stepped beside her. I don't care who you were. I care who you are now. The hunter snarled. She's dangerous. If the Empire finds out, she's still alive. Aaron didn't let him finish. He fired. One clean shot. The hunter dropped. Girl blinked. You killed him. He wasn't going to let you live. She stepped over the body, breathing hard. No one has ever fought for me like that. Get used to it, Aaron said. She turned to the down second hunter helmet, cracked, armor sparking, still alive. Let her see. The girl said. Aaron pulled the helmet off. The hunter was a woman, eyes burning with hate. The girl leaned in. Tell them I'm not afraid anymore, she said. The hunter spat blood. They'll never stop. Neither will I. Aaron stood behind her. The girl looked at him. Will you stay with me? I already said it once, Aaron replied. I'll say it again. He leaned close, voice low, steady. Stay with me. Forever. The girl closed her eyes, and for the first time in her memory, she didn't feel like someone's property. She felt free, but far above them. In the dark clouds, a long-range beacon lit up. Silent, unseen, a signal sent to the stars. Real hunt hadn't even begun. The girl sat near the fire, knees drawn to her chest, eyes lost in the flames. She had washed the blood from her hands, but it still felt like it clung to her skin. The fog had cleared. The two hunters were gone, one dead, one left behind to carry a message. But peace never followed silence. Not for her. Aaron returned from the ridge, where he'd planted signal jammers and motion detectors. He sat beside her without saying a word. For a long time, they just listened to the crackle of fire. Then she spoke. I think I remember her face. Whose? Aaron asked. The woman. The one they said I would replace. Aaron turned toward her. She had eyes like mine, the girl whispered. But stronger, colder. She walked through golden halls. Everyone bowed to her. And when she looked at me, she looked angry. Aaron said nothing. He let her keep going. She called me a shadow, an insult, said I wasn't real, that I could never be her. You were never meant to be anyone else, Aaron said gently. The girl shook her head. That's not what they wanted. She pulled up the edge of her shirt and revealed a faint scar just above her stomach, barely visible, like a thread. They cut me open there when I was young. Said they were fixing my coding. Said my brain was too stubborn. Aaron leaned closer, scanning it. There was something beneath the skin. Faint, organic, but artificial. A mesh of living code interlaced with memory fibers. His heart sank. You're not just a clone, he said slowly. You're something else, something advanced, she nodded. I was supposed to be a mirror. A replacement for a royal who died too soon. Aaron's jaw clenched. So they made you wear her life. They trained me to copy her speech, her laugh, her walk. They forced me to study her memories until I forgot which ones were mine. She closed her eyes. Sometimes I dream about a planet I've never seen, a coronation I never attended, a mother I never met. Aaron's voice dropped. Do you know what this means? She nodded. If the Empire finds out I'm alive, they'll fear what else might still exist. Or worse, Aaron added, they'll try to finish what they started. She looked at him. They already tried, again and again. But I kept surviving. I kept remembering. Aaron stared at her in the firelight. You're not just their mistake, he said. You're their secret. One they buried with fire and lies. The girl laughed softly, bitter. So what am I now? A ghost? A threat? A lost royal? Aaron shook his head. You're free. That's all that matters. She didn't answer. But something in her face softened. Then the link on. Aaron's belt crackled just once. Encrypted signal. Weak. Hidden. But there. He scanned it. Bounty alert. Target. Unregistered royal clone. Status. Rogue asset. Threat level. High her. Face. Her number. And a bounty that could feed a fleet for a year. They've activated a system-wide hunt. Aaron muttered. Every smuggler, pirate, bounty killer, every one of them will be looking for you now. The girl stood up slowly. I need to disappear. Aaron looked at her sharply. We just fought to keep you alive. You're not vanishing. I mean, disappear correctly, she said. Not hide. Not run. He frowned. Then what? I need to become someone new, not just physically, in truth. In mind, in soul. She walked to the small mirror near the crawler wall. For the first time, she stared at her reflection without fear. Her name is gone. Her crown is ashes, and I'm not a shadow anymore. She turned to him. My name is Lyra. Aaron felt something shift in the air when she said it. Not like she had just made it up, like it had always been waiting. Lyra, he repeated. That's a strong name. I want it to be mine, she said, completely. He nodded. Then it is. She stepped close. No more collars. No more codes. No more cages. Aaron took her hand. Then we make sure they never touch you again. Lyra looked up at the stars. The same stars that once watched her suffer. Now they would watch her rise. The sun rose slowly over the edge of the desert, painting the sand gold and the sky pink. The crawler sat still beneath a rock outcrop, quiet as a grave. But inside, life was beginning. Lyra stood at the small sink, cutting away her long tangled hair with a dull blade. She didn't flinch. Each lock that fell to the floor was another piece of the past, another piece of someone else's story. Aaron watched from across the room, arms crossed. He didn't stop her. When she finished, she stared at herself in the mirror. Short hair, clean skin, no collar, no number. No crown, just Lyra, and she smiled. Aaron stepped forward, handing her a small wristband. It's yours now. I wiped the ID, new name, new identity. Lyra slipped it on. It feels strange, she said. Being someone I chose. You earned it, he said. They shared a quiet look, but the silence was broken by a soft beep from Aaron's datapad. The signal from the hunter's dropped beacon had been traced. Empire ships. A patrol, coming slow, searching the outer sector. They hadn't found the crawler's location yet. They'll keep looking, Aaron said. They won't stop. Not until the memory of you is erased. Lyra looked calm. Then let's give them a memory they can't erase. Aaron raised an eyebrow. You want to send a message? I want to burn their silence, she said. They erased the others, the failed ones, the ones like me. But I remember them. I carry their voices. He stepped closer. What are you planning? She smiled, something fierce and alive behind her eyes. I'm going to make the Empire remember what they tried to forget. Aaron opened his mouth to argue, but stopped. Because for the first time, Lyra wasn't scared. She was standing tall. Strong. Hold. An hour later, they parked near an old transmission tower, buried under collapsed rock. Aaron had passed it a dozen times and never paid attention. But Lyra had found it in an old map cache. It had one purpose, to send high-powered distress signals across long-range channels. They cleared the rocks, opened the panel. The console hummed to life. Lyra stepped up. Pressing her hand against the scanner, Aaron handed her a voice chip. She took a breath and spoke. "This is Lyra, no code. No rank, no title." She looked into the camera. "They made me from the bones of someone who died too soon. They filled me with her memories, her voice, her face. They made me less so she could remain more." She stepped forward, but I broke. Free, I lived, and I remember. Her voice sharpened. "There are others like me forgotten, erased, destroyed in silence. But I'm not silent anymore." She paused, eyes burning. "You created me in your image, but I'll live in mine. And you can keep your thrones, your titles, your control. I choose freedom. And I choose truth." Aaron pressed send. The signal flew into the stars. Unstoppable, undeniable, a flame in the dark. Later that night, the crawler rested by a dried riverbed, stars glittering above. Aaron sat beside Lyra on the roof, their backs against the metal hatch. "You sure about this?" he asked. "You could have stayed hidden." She nodded. "But that's not living. That's just ... waiting." They sat in silence a while. Then she turned to him. "You saved me." "You saved yourself," he said. "I just reminded you you could." She reached out, fingers brushing his. "You could have sold me. Turned me in. Taken the bounty." He smiled. "That thought crossed my mind." She laughed softly. Then her voice dropped to a whisper. "Why didn't you?" Aaron looked at her, eyes serious. "Because when I found you, broken, lost, afraid, I didn't see a bounty. I saw someone who had been denied everything good in life." He reached for her hand, and I thought, maybe I could be the first person who didn't take something from you, but gave something back. She squeezed his hand gently. "You gave me a name. And you gave me a reason to stop running," he said. A moment passed. Then she leaned against his shoulder. "I don't know what tomorrow looks like," she said. "Neither do I," Aaron replied. "But maybe we can figure it out together." The stars above them shimmered and far, far away, across the void, an empire stirred. Because a ghost had spoken, and this time she wouldn't be forgotten.